in America, Black people have this unfortunate stereotype, and it is due to some degree to their actions, is that when people see them in a dark alley, they automatically, their brain goes, oh, it might be dangerous, right? And people would say that's racist, but to a degree, that human being is trying to survive and say, okay, well, there might be more of a probability of that person hurting me. Okay. And whoever's offended, think logically, it is what it is. Same way with Muslims, right? When you have somebody wearing hijab on a plane, a natural person's feeling is 9/11, person wearing a hijab, person's Muslim, hijacking, automatically, boom. Why? There could be a level of racism, and that's wrong, but there's also an idea where a human is looking at a past experience and saying, okay, well, if that happened before, there's a higher probability it may happen again. If you were in a relationship and you dated a woman that had certain personality traits and she cheated on you, and now you go and date a very similar woman, if you have, or rather, you don't necessarily start dating her, but you bump into her, you meet her somewhere, and you notice that there's a lot of similarity between that girl that you're meeting now and the woman you dated, then you can infer that there's a possible likelihood, or there's a higher likelihood rather, that because this girl seems so similar, she might exhibit or inhibit or exhibit those similar traits. So in a sense, it's we do this to survive. So we have to be willing to call things out as they are, and we're going further and further away with this cancel culture. There has to be a line where we don't cross. For instance, racism should never be allowed to anybody. But if we can say things in a respectful manner, they should be able to be said. So that things get tricky in that regard. But, for instance, a lot of the time, very commonly, certain groups of Hasidic Jews are known to not be so well-mannered. We should be able to call that out and say it as it is. It's plenty of them are very sweet people. But at the end of the day, this is something that a lot of people notice to be the case, right? So instead of sugarcoating it and say, oh, well, it's their culture, they're from Eastern Europe, and they don't really put such an importance on please and thank you. Well, that's not an excuse, right? That's a pretty minor, in all grand scheme of things, they're not murdering anybody, but still, manners are very important, right? Like we have the saying, kindness comes before Torah. That's the best translation I got. But, so those are important things. Ultimately, it's important to call things out as they are, to do it in a respectful way, not intending to hurt the person, but we walk on eggshells so much that we do more harm than good by doing that.